What up?
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
We're live. Welcome back, everybody.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
Kind of weird doing it on a Wednesday. We had so
Yeah.
much drama this week.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's actually in the end, it's probably better that we did end up having to wait a day or two extra, isn't it? You know,
Given
it let me it let me come off the ledge for starters. And then we got to hear the new, all the news that we'll get into shortly. So yeah, let's just
rip the Band-Aid.
let's actually no, we're not ripping that Band-Aid off yet. We're gonna talk Sharks first. We'll get to that other thing that I'm wearing the black jersey for because we're burying a season, right? But let's talk Sharks first. There was some, the Sharks made some moves, right?
Yeah.
So on Sunday, they placed defenseman Nick Leddy on waivers. He's in the final year of his $4 million average annual value contract. He only had 4 assists in 19 games played. He cleared waivers the next day, and he was assigned to the Barracuda. So that's kind of where he's chilling now for a while. That was kind of foreseeable. He wasn't really playing all that well. He didn't play a lot of games, and when he did play, his trade value was not evident. And when nobody picked him up off of waivers, it kind of showed that nobody was really interested. And he was placed on waivers because Vincent Desharnais on Monday was activated from the injured reserve. And then he made his return to the lineup
shot
from Florida.
out of a cannon on Monday.
Oh, he looked great, didn't he? All 6'7" of him was like really ready to go.
6'7".
Yeah, got it in there.
This video is going to trend all of a sudden with the
there it is.
Teenagers.
Yep. He was missing for the last 23 games, but he was ready to roll. We're still close, but not quite there yet on Kurashov and McMadolan for their returns. But the other big move that the Sharks made, they traded for forward Kiefer Sherwood from Vancouver. They gave up a 2026 and 2027 second round picks and a depth defenseman in the minors, Cole Clayton. He was at the Barracuda as well.
I just read that he wants a new contract deal, like pending obviously his injury that he's recovering from, but now we're far off, and he wants like 30 million average, and I was like, or not 30 average, but 30 million for his contract. And I was like,
yeah,
well, that's fun.
So,
I like that we changed the guy that we had to pay now.
Yeah, they're already talking extension, but they're far off on the talks, at least to start. So there's still some time. He is an unrestricted free agent at the end of this year, so he is a rental. We'll see what happens. The trade deadline is about a month and a half away. It's the beginning of March. I believe it's like March 4th or something like that. So and there is a little bit of a pause as well during the Olympic break. So there's a mini deadline, and then there's the official deadline. So there's a couple of moving pieces happening here. So there's a little bit of a mini rush happening now. So there's some moves happening, in these couple of weeks leading up to right before the Olympics start. And then there's going to be a little bit of a break. And then we're going to have a mad dash to get all those last minute moves happening before the official trade deadline. So as for the games that happened during the last week, on Thursday at Washington, Nedeljkovic had his 200th career game, and they get the win in Washington 3-2. That was good. It was a good win. Ostapchuk, Graf, and Regenda had the goals. And then in Detroit, they lose 4-2. That was a little bit unfortunate. Will Smith came back in that game, though. He did get a goal as well. Colin Graf had the other goal. That was a 13-game absence for Will Smith in that one. And then on Monday, this was the big one against Florida. Sam, that was your win of the week for last week. They get the huge win, 4-1. Matthew Tkachuk made his season debut in the game. He injured himself in the Four Nations tournament a year ago. This was Tim Liljegren's 300th career game. Your goals came from Smith, Desharnais in his second career goal. His only other one came back in October 2023. Ferraro and then Goudreau added an empty netter. Then in the middle of the game, Matthew Tkachuk got his little welcome back to the show from Desharnais. They were chirping back and forth at each other, and there was a bit of a skirmish, a little bit of a scrap between the goalies. It was all over the internet, all over social media. If you didn't see it, where were you? You've been living under a rock bed? Come on.
You might have been watching the national title game, but I'm going to tell you that was a mistake. You should have watched the Sharks game.
Yeah. Nedeljkovic had a goalie fight. It was the first goalie fight. It was the first official goalie fight for the Sharks, but it's the first. It's a little weird because Steve Shields got a 5-minute major for fighting for the Sharks on October 4th versus Chicago, but he didn't fight a goalie in that one. He was fighting a different player. So it wasn't a goalie fight. It was a goalie who was fighting. So it's a distinction without a difference, really. It's really weird. Dan Ruzanowski really dove into the details on that one if you were listening to the audio broadcast of the game.
So Nettie is also one of 5 goalies in NHL history and the only American-born goalie to ever score a goal, get an assist, and have a fight in their career.
He has a career Gordie Howe hat trick.
He's a Hall of Famer, dude.
Yeah, add him to the Hall of Good. There's actually an Instagram account called the Hall of Good.
This week, wherever Nettie goes, his meal is comped.
That's right. So with this win, this is actually the first time this season the Sharks got a win without Celebrini contributing on the score sheet. He didn't get a goal or an assist. So we had talked about getting some scoring from guys other than Celebrini. This is the first time it happened where they got a win without him getting on the score sheet. So you'd like to see that. They sweep the season series against Florida. It's the first sweep of the season of the defending champs since they did it against the Bruins in the 2011-2012 season. So it's been a while since that happened. Even when they were good, they weren't sweeping the champs, for quite a while. And normally you'd have to do it against an Eastern Conference team because you only have to see them twice, So it's been a while. And then unfortunately yesterday, starting the new week, Sam, you had Tampa Bay as your win of the week for this week. It did not happen. They lose 4-1 against Tampa. So unfortunate. That one did not quite go as well. They're currently 25, 21, and 3. They're tied for third in the Pacific. Right on the cusp, kind of vacillating between the third Pacific Division playoff spot and the first wild card spot. So they're right there, right in the mix. We love to see that. We're 49 games played. The next game is Friday. That's obviously going to be me and Tyler's win of the week chance. They're playing the Rangers at home. So that's going to be really exciting. That's also a 49ers Bay Area Unite hockey jersey giveaway. So that's going to be an expensive ticket if you haven't already got one. So good luck to you if you haven't. That's
final home game until because the Olympics are gonna.
That's going to be
yes.
Yeah, the Sharks are going to be on the road after that for a few games, and then after that, it's the Olympic break for much of February. So after that, they're at Vancouver. They're doing the Western Canada swing. They're at Vancouver, at Edmonton, at Calgary, and then they're at Chicago, and then at Colorado. And then that's the end of the road trip, and that's where the Olympic break happens. So that's quite a road trip that they're about to go on right before the Olympic break. It's a Western Canada swing. It's a cold swing through some tougher towns to play in. There's a couple of easier teams that you at this point, a Sharks team that I think we can say it. They're a good team. I'm a little trepidatious saying it, but it's a good team. You would expect them to be able to go in there and get a W against a couple of these teams.
They've been beating some, they get wins against bad teams, but they also been getting good wins against really good teams throughout the season, especially after that horrendous start. But after the Olympic break, I believe I heard on the broadcast last night that it's the easiest schedule based on win percentage
rest of the way
after
out.
the Olympic break. So, hey,
Yeah. I mean, this upcoming bit of the schedule that we've basically gone through already. It was one of the more difficult stretches of the entire season, and they've kind of held their own through it. I mean, you get the win against the Stars, you beat the Capitals, you get the win at the Panthers, the Red Wings and the Lightning. Those are a couple of losses. It's going to happen. This is a team that's currently in the playoffs, but is like they're on the edge. There's teams fighting to get into the playoffs ahead of them. So this is it's a tough stretch, but you're right there, and you're on the good side of right there. So this is. You're winning games you need to win. So this is good. It's good. It's a good sign. And Macklin Celebrini is in the conversation for MVP. I think he's probably third right now on a lot of people's cards. So
between McDavid and I'm drawing the name. But anyways, I also think too that
McKinnon.
I think when the season started, McKinnon. I think when the season started, I bet you the organization, the front office said, we have to have more wins than last season. And I bet you that was the goal. Let's grow the talent. Let's say we have to have more wins than last season. Macklin Celebrini has pivotively changed the team's direction. I would imagine at this point, you got to tell Greer, who's now buying players. We were selling players for the last couple seasons. We're now buying players. So I imagine the direction just changed the middle of the season, said, see if we can sneak into the playoffs and get these guys some playoff experience to get them hungry to want to come back more and more and more, or just sneak in and see what happens. You know what I mean? So Macklin has definitely changed the whole entire front office's view of this season, and for the good. I don't think they expected Colin Graff to come out as well as he was. Obviously Will Smith had some injuries, but he's been a great front line for them. So, I think Misa has really boosted that second line. They're causing problems in that second line. So I think that this Sharks
him.
Yeah, the scoring's not quite there yet, but he's
creating havoc. He's creating problems.
Yeah. He's doing everything but scoring is how I would put it.
Yeah,
that's fine.
And it's going to
I bet you Greer told him. Yeah, exactly. I bet you Greer said, just keep going through the motions.
Keep working, and it's going to come, exactly. So I'm not worried about that part of it.
And we still haven't even, there's still so many guys that are with the Barracuda that are going to impact this team, the big club. And they're going to have opportunity maybe this year, but there's still a lot of young guys on the way. And if we can sneak into the playoffs with this current group, and then you still have 3, 4, 5 guys in the minor leagues that are on the way, on the cusp, that's like making trades without having to give up any assets. Or if a legit megastar comes available and you feel like it's going to push you over the top, you have the assets to go and get that superstar, and you have the cap room to sign these guys. So it's just a really exciting time to be a Sharks fan. I hope the core stays together for a while, because there's just something always special about those teams that when you have that core that is drafted together and they develop together and all of that, there's something special about that. So as much as I want to win, I want to keep the core together. I'm in it for the long haul. So but it's just been so much fun to watch.
Totally. All right. So enough fun talk. Let's switch gears. All right, let's talk sad.
Oh, okay. Hold on. There you go, Vince.
There we go.
My team died 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so it happened. Honestly, it was a beatdown. The Niners got their asses handed to them. From the jump, from the kickoff, it was done. They obviously kicked the ball off to Seattle. Seattle ran it back for a touchdown. The Niners only scored 6 points in the game. 7 is more than 6 because the Seattle did convert that extra point. So the Niners at no point had a shot at winning the game, even from the kickoff. So just throwing that out there, even before that happened. It was just overall not a great performance, to be said. There was, like the injuries for starters definitely finally just caught up to us. George Kittle was the injury that broke the straw that broke the camel's back, is what I'm trying to say. Because Jake Tongas was out there trying his best, and then he got injured. So now you have Luke Farrell out there running passes and getting bodied off of like routes that Jake Tongas probably doesn't get bodied off of, and I know George Kittle doesn't get bodied off of, that lead to interceptions and passes deflected and stuff like that. I saw it happen at least 3 times, where Brock Purdy delivers the ball where George Kittle I know would be, but the third string tight end is just not able to muscle his way into, where he should be. So to start off with that sucks. In the end, Seattle was just the way better team. They absolutely deserved that win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They went in there the Niners went in there and they got served a huge steaming pile of shit sandwich to eat by Seattle. That's what happened. And there is a little bit of comfort in watching that game and just knowing you don't have a chance. There's not one specific play you can point to and say, oh, if that plays goes differently, maybe the tides turn and something. No, there's nothing there. There's not one moment I can point to where if something different happens, maybe the Niners pull this one out, because it was a curb stomping from start to finish,
Damn.
So from that's what I saw. It was a curb stomping. It was so bad
that Robert Saleh left to Tennessee.
Yeah. He went full Kelly Pickler.
You know what though? You guys are gonna get Gus Bradley, so everything's okay.
Yeah. Actually, Gus Bradley was the guy who designed a lot of the red zone defense packages and stuff. So when the Niners were making those bend don't break stuff, that was actually Gus Bradley doing a lot of the behind the scenes work on that. So I'm not quite as trepidatious on that. That's if it does end up being Gus Bradley, it's at least a little bit of continuity, if nothing else, So it'll be a similar style, and they were working together at least on that. So that
is Brandon Staley still on the 49er staff, or did he move along somewhere?
I don't recall. I think he probably moved along. He went full All-American rejects, I believe. Okay. But who's not moving along is Trent Williams. He's confirmed in his post-game press conference that he will be back next season. So that's good. Another person who confirmed some good news is George Kittle. He said that he has the best case scenario for an Achilles tear. So it's higher up on the calf, meaning it should be a quicker recovery time, which means he could be, in games next year. We know that, as far as usefulness in those games is probably not going to be super useful, just in terms of fantasy output or anything like that. You're not going to be able to be at your full bestest top quality self when you're coming off of an Achilles, especially at 33 is what he'll be next year. But being out there, throwing pancake blocks, helping the team out next year. If he's out there in November, helping guys make plays and stuff, I think that would be amazing and a best case scenario. And I'm just cautiously optimistic for that being the case. So that's just kind of what I'm, really hoping for. Like I said earlier, I ended up wearing the black jersey because this is a funeral, right, for the Niners. It felt a little fitting to choose that one. So There's a couple of little rumblings as well that Mac Jones could end up being traded if the package is right. Obviously, you're not in the business of giving up good players for nothing. I'll say that. The value's got to be right, but if Mac Jones can provide the 49ers with some good value, I would absolutely send him somewhere. If he can be a starter for another team that is in need of a quarterback, and Mac Jones, I'm sure he wants to be a starting quarterback. I think he proved that he at least is capable of handling that job when called upon. If he has the right system and the right people in place,
you know what would be a great landing spot for him?
Where?
I think Atlanta would be great because Penix is hurt. He ain't gonna. Yeah. And that was, there was a lot of Raider fans that wanted Michael Penix. He has all the arm talent in the world, but the legs, his body failed him, and that sucks. But he's injury prone, and he's probably not going to be a legit starter for a continued period of time. And then you have Kirk Cousins, who's really old.
Gone. It's gone. Yeah,
he's gone.
Yeah,
he's done. So if you're, and then you have Stefanski in there, and you have good players. The Atlanta Falcons have a good team.
If somebody can go in there and make it work,
and I was listening to this today. I was listening to a podcast today specifically about quarterbacks and the trend in quarterbacks, and that obviously turnovers are key, but right now it's run the ball, don't have any mistakes with the quarterback, and play good defense. Stop the run, and that's bread and butter good football. So if Mac Jones can not turn the ball over, you're going to have a good run game over there in Atlanta, and you got some good players on defense that can do some things. That could be a really good landing spot for him.
Yeah.
And I think Atlanta would be willing to give up if they give up a third round pick, that's basically a tail end second round pick. Because they're kind of up there in the draft. Like they weren't very good.
No, they were middle. They ended up middle of the pack. They were 8 and 9. So I don't know where they ended up drafting.
Were they 8 and 9?
Yeah,
I thought
they were 8 and 9.
5.
Yeah, it was a 3-way tie.
It was a 3-way tie, and they lost the tiebreaker in the worst possible way.
If you could get a third,
a
second or a third for Mac Jones, because you need guys.
If there's if somebody offers a second rounder,
he's gone.
Yeah. If somebody offers a second rounder, he's absolutely shipped out. Anyway, okay, so let's quickly rip through the rest of these coaching carousel moves that have happened. John Harbaugh is going to the Giants. The Tennessee Titans are hiring Robert Saleh. We'll see you back in another 3 years, Bob. Because Tennessee's a mess. I don't have any confidence in that organization.
That is so. Real quick about this one is Tennessee fired Mike Vrabel, to then hire Robert Saleh, who is Vrabel is on the cusp of going to a Super Bowl with New England, so it's not an apples to apples comparison. But as a defensive coordinator, defensive guy, that type of rah-rah, personality.
Leader of men. Yeah.
Right. It's like, why didn't you stick with Vrabel?
Yeah, Vrabel had them as the 1 seed. He got them to an AFC title
with Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. Yeah. That team's
it's just
I have no faith in Tennessee to do the right move.
Wish Robert Saleh the best because I really like him. I like his personality. I like what he does defensively. Last year I was really hoping that he was going to be one of the guys that, became the Raiders head coach. And then this year I was really, really excited if he had a chance to come to the Raiders. I wish him the best, but I think that's a mess. And I hope they give him the time to really turn it around.
Yeah. I'm sure he brought that up in his interview.
I feel like between them and Miami, man, both of them just What are we doing, man? Like head scratchers at head coaching positions for different reasons, but yeah.
Right. All right. The Bills also fired Sean McDermott after 6 years. Yeah. So that
was the worst kept secret. We were talking about that, before the season started. As the Ravens owner said about Harbaugh's job security, it was secured for one more week if he had won a game. So,
but how crazy does it, like, for me? I'm not tapped into what Buffalo fans and all that see, but like literally overnight, you fire a coach that a lot of the players respected him. From what I'm seeing, they really like him. And then I'm reading that he got let go because he said the roster, there's pieces that you just don't have on the roster. We got the quarterback, we got a running back, and that's about it. And the GM didn't like it, and the owner didn't like it, so they fired him. You promote the GM.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Anyway,
it seems like they could be a team that's really good that has a steep nosedive if they don't get this right.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the teams that did win. And they're going to be playing on Championship Sunday. We got the Patriots and the Broncos for a trip to the Super Bowl.
Jason Stidham.
Jarrett Stidham.
My guy.
Who do you got, Broncos or Patriots?
Patriots.
Yeah, so do I. I got the Patriots. I have no faith in Jarrett Stidham to get the job done. All right. So we're all in the Patriots. I'll let you guys know that I'm picking the Seahawks. I hate saying it. This sucks for me. The Rams and the Seahawks are playing each other for a chance to play a Super Bowl in my house. In my house. This sucks.
So Vince and I are like the total opposite because I definitely don't want the Broncos or the Patriots to win. So, like, number one, I'm going Rams. Number two, I'm going Seahawks.
While this is happening, after, like, as soon as I get off of this, I kind of want to just go hold my head underwater until the bubbles stop coming. Jesus Christ. All right, so Rams, Seahawks, who do you guys got?
Rams.
Oh, dude, did you not watch the Seahawks defense? Seahawks,
I know,
baby.
But I'm still picking
Rams. All right. Yeah, so Sam's going Rams. Me and Tyler have the Seahawks. All right, so for our standings, last week we all got 2 games right, which means no change in the standings as far as points separated. Sam and Tyler have 19 points. I have 18 points, which means
it's coming down to the wire, baby.
Yeah, it's getting down to the wire. We only have 1 game differentiating us this coming week, and that's the Rams Seahawks. Nobody went different on the Patriots or Broncos. So we gotta. It's getting close. It's getting dicey. So we're gonna see what happens after this weekend, and then that'll affect our Super Bowl picks probably. But yeah. All right. That being said, there's our playoff pick'em challenge. And none of our Super Bowl picks are alive anymore. Sad for us. No bonus picks to be had. All right, so it's time to move on. We got one last thing to talk about with the it's Warriors time, and some really, really tragic news happened there. Jimmy Butler.
Rest in peace, his kneecap.
Yeah. This happened on Monday. He left the game in the third quarter with a right knee injury, and it was later confirmed to be an ACL tear. I was watching the game. He was going up for the ball and just kind of midair collision and just came down real funny on it. And as soon as he went down, I actually texted the chat and said, guys, like knee injury, it doesn't look good. And Tyler was the optimist for a change instead of Vince. And no, I was right, unfortunately. And it was bad. So unfortunately that ends the what tiny little sliver of a hope for a title that there was for the Warriors this year. That window has closed.
What do you mean? We have Jonathan Kuminga.
Okay, sure. That window has closed.
Did he even play last night?
He did play
did.
last night. He did play. I mean, I could try to pull up the stats if you'd like.
No, I'll look up his plus minus. I'll look
yeah.
up his plus minus.
Yeah, no. It was sure. I'm sure it was fantastic. But yeah, it was just. Oh man. So yeah. So it was just as soon as that game, like as soon as that happened, the entire air out of the arena.
Jonathan Kuminga was a +3.
Okay.
But it doesn't help when your whole entire starting roster is minus double digits in their plus minus. So
yeah.
That didn't
I mean, Pat Spencer had 5 assists, so there you go. In 9 minutes.
Yeah, actually, Pat Spencer was.
He was a bit of a spark plug in the fourth quarter there, man. They still ended up losing the fourth quarter by 4 points. And that does include just anyway. Oh man. Okay. So the Warriors are 5 games above 500. Like it's unfortunate too. The Warriors were finally putting it together, man. They were like they were closing the gap on the 7 seed. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago. How you needed to they had strung together 4 wins in a row, including that game on Monday. That was their 4th win in a row. It was a blowout win against Miami. And that was their first 4-game winning streak this season. It was all starting to, come together a little bit, and you were starting to maybe start. I was getting ready to start to make the case, because I am the optimist, but optimist Vinny's gone. And I'm sorry, optimist Vinny can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because he's dead.
I will tell you though, I mean, I know that Jonathan Kuminga, he got 21 minutes. He scored 20 points.
He scored 20 points, as Tyler was saying, right before he was cut off by the internet at his house, I'm assuming. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so it is unfortunate. But yeah, this sucks. I don't know what moves you can make. I don't see it. There's his contract is $50+ million. Nobody's trading for that.
The general manager Mike Dunleavy was asked yesterday, I think it was, that would you trade Jimmy's Butler contract, because you could still trade the contracts.
Right.
And he was like, nah, I don't see that. I expect Jimmy Butler to come back next year. So, I mean, they're cooked, man. Like, they're going to be a mid-ass team because they don't really have a lot of moves. What I found really interesting, man, I heard this today on one of the radio shows, and I thought it was a good point, is going back into the Wayback Machine here when Steve Kerr got hired. Remember David Lee?
Yeah.
And he just signed that contract, but Draymond Green outplayed him and was a spark. And, Steve Kerr was like, I'm going to roll with the best players. And then we got Draymond Green. What's interesting is, like, over the past couple years since then, like, Steve Kerr has, like, not played the young guys. So I find that, like, really interesting. And I'm not here to shit on anyone, but I do find that really interesting that when Steve Kerr got here, he was all about playing the young guys. And now he's like, nah, we're not playing the young guys. I think the Jonathan Kuminga thing, he mishandled Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga mishandled himself. Like, it's just it's a mess, and I think part of that is the 2 timeline thing that, that doesn't really work. And now, because he's not even, I mean, until last night, he was getting these DNPs left and right. There's no market for him, especially now that he signed that contract. So there's no market for him. You're not going to give up anything for Jonathan Kuminga of value because you don't know what you're getting. So I think best case scenario is the Warriors would receive an expiring contract so that next year there's some type of cap space.
Yeah, that's the best you can possibly do.
And even then, how much cap space are you getting? Because you have Jimmy Butler, you have Steph Curry, You have
Jimmy
Draymond
Butler
Green,
is an expiring contract next year.
Next year.
Yeah, next year
Next
he's an
year.
expiring contract. So you might as well hang on to him.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but when that's the rules of the league is you got all these contracts and you can't really make any moves. So
I think this is how the empire dies, unfortunately.
I don't know.
It does feel that way.
It's a bummer, but we saw some absolute greatness, and I am forever appreciative of Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant. Let's not forget to shout him out too for those 2 championships in the middle there as well.
Did you guys notice how Joe Lacob cut off my feed though as I was talking about Jonathan Kuminga though? God forbid I talk something positive.
Yeah, it was very rude. I did finish your sentence with the word points for you.
Well, I was gonna say, he was a positive note given the fact that really hasn't played in 2 months. So
yeah, it was like 16 games or something like that.
Between him and Buddy Hield, it was a positive note from last night.
Yeah,
not much to take away though.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I think that's it. Like, it's a quick show.
Quick show. Raiders get a head coach next week.
Yeah, probably they better. Otherwise, all the good ones are gone.
I think their number 1 is Kubiak in Seattle.
Okay.
And then I think I am not counting out Davis Webb from Denver.
Okay.
And I think the theory, I know a lot of people are going to say that's way too soon. I think they rather be 1 year too early identifying their head coach and let him grow into the role.
Yeah.
Than let him pass by. So I think
that's
what
fair.
they're looking at is like getting a young guy. I'll say like finding their Sean McVay, their Kyle Shanahan. Like when those guys became head coaches with the Niners and the Rams, they were relatively young. And now if you're the 49ers, I know the season ended, not as what you wanted, but if you get rid of Kyle Shanahan, who's available that's better?
Fucking nobody.
Because every quarterback that Kyle Shanahan has had as a 49er or even elsewhere, it's become quarterback you. Like he's
absolutely,
so if you're the 49ers,
Nick Mullins,
there's no way you're giving up Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Even if next year doesn't work out and you got to tear it down to the studs, you have a guy that's been there, done that, knows how to get production from a quarterback. And then the same thing can be said for Sean McVay, who's won the Super Bowl, has rebuilt teams. What the Rams did a few years ago, they traded away all their draft picks, and they win the Super Bowl. And Les Snead fucked them draft picks to then drafting really well and getting their team back on track. So
yeah,
I think if you're the Raiders, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at teams that identified younger coaches that can relate to younger players. And I think that's what they're doing. I think that's the route they're going to go. So the candidates that they interviewed, I think Kubiak is number 1. I think Davis Webb is that outlier, that heat-seeking missile that might get the call. But I also think there's a couple of guys over with the LA Rams that might get the call as well. And lastly, Sean McVay's coaching tree, a lot of people are saying, but these OCs don't call their plays. Last time I looked it up, every OC that did not call plays for Sean McVay and the Rams did pretty damn well when they went to their next stop. So I'm not really worried about that. I just hope they get it right. And if one of these young guys, if it's a year too soon, identify your guy, give him the time to grow, because we know it's going to be Fernando Mendoza, baby.
Right. Okay. With that said, somebody want to take us out?
Yeah, man. You guys are listening to the SVT podcast. Thank you guys all for tuning in this Wednesday for us. Subscribe on YouTube and hit the bells to get alerts when we go live. Also, if you don't have time to listen to the full episode, we're putting out several segments on YouTube throughout the week. Follow us on Instagram and Threads at SVT Sports Pod. Slide into DMs. We'd love to interact with all you beautiful people.
FJF. Good night.
FJF.